of us used to be in the club. King, who's the king? Some of us used to be in the club. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever we lift up our voices, it becomes a threat. It's an immediate threat. And technically, it should be no threat to anybody. If we are nobody, we're a bunch of nobodies and we don't matter, then why would it make a difference in anything that we're saying? So if your reaction is, I got to shut these people down, I got to make them stop, I got to do this and I got to do that, then obviously we must be somebody. So, there's no way if we're a bunch of nobodies that our words should carry so much weight around the world. Per according to you, we're a bunch of nobodies. So if we're on the street saying that we are the real Hebrews of the Bible, then being that we're nobody, who should care? But your actions is really giving it away. It really is. And if you come to us too harsh, then you're going to look like a complete racist. Not that that's going to stop you. So, anyway, the New York Post has updated a story on the march. And trust me, y'all, all of these Hebrew brothers out on the streets, letting their presence and their voices be heard was disturbing to them. So disturbing, they attempted to downplay the number of men on the streets to 100. Now, it is not unusual for this media or the government to downplay numbers. I mean, when have we ever gotten real numbers from their US census? They lie on that all day long. Okay? And according to them, and citizens included, we're 13% of the population. And if you say, no, I think we're bigger, they take offense to that. And many of them will just stop and argue with you. So you can see this is all part of the rigging. Okay. It's all part of the rigging. They have to make you believe whatever hype they came up with, they want you to believe it. They want you to not believe what you see with your eyes, but believe what you hear from them. And that's the way it's been this entire time. So these brothers from IUIC were out on the streets chanting, "We are the real Jews." And when they saw this 1,000-man army coming up the street, it was quite disturbing. Not to us. Not to us. We were happy to see the unification, but apparently to them, to them. So, a massive line of Hebrew warriors, I'm throwing that in myself, donned the shirts of a group, Israel United in Christ, and were captured Sunday, bellowing, "We've got some good news. We are the real Jews," according to the footage posted on social media, which has since gone viral. Trust me, you're not going to have that many people coming down a street and it's not going to get any recognition at all. Now, the media tried very hard not to give this recognition, but it was nearly impossible because it got so many views online. And see, it's not mainstream news on TV that rules. What rules is social media. Make no mistake about it. Social media literally controls the media. It is not what you see on TV. Those folks barely get decent ratings online. They can't control the narrative. Social media controls the narrative. So if you wait for them to report on this or even talk to these brothers, hold your breath. Hold your breath. But on social media, it's a different story. It really is. So, separate footage also shared on social media Monday shows a sea of purple shirts marching towards the Brooklyn Nets arena. The Hebrew Israelites out in force today, chanting, "We are the real Jews," and "Time to wake up," as they march towards Barclays Center in support of Kyrie Irving's return. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know, during the post-game interview, it was almost like they were trying to make Kyrie, well, one of the reporters ignorantly tried to make him responsible for everything that was going on outside. Well, are you aware of this? He's playing a basketball game when this is all going on. And if it was that disturbing to you, you should have gone outside and talked to them. But we know why you're going to avoid these men. At least I know why. Okay. You don't want to go out there sticking mics in their face, and they're going to tell you, "We are the real Hebrews," and you're just not ready for that. All right. So, they do have black Hebrew Israelites, but I'm skipping over the word black because that's not what we call ourselves. So they can put anything they want in print. I don't have to have that on my video. Plain and simple. So, ladies and gentlemen, somebody by the name of Ari Engel, director of the pro Israel organization Creative Community for Peace, tweeted alongside the clip. So obviously, this clip disturbed them, and they were talking about the truth about anti Semitism. Well, how is that anti Semitism if we are identifying ourselves? And why is it not that when you identify yourself? It's not like you've shown proof to anybody, but we are the ones always proving through scriptures, and we don't see you doing anything. So, anyway, one of the handouts, the group's heritage, was removed through monstrous holocaust known as the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, what part of that is not true? I'm just asking. You know, you just can't come up and say, "Oh, well, you need to be quiet and y'all need to go away. You are a problem. This is anti-Semitic. This is that." No, everybody on the planet got the right to identify themselves. You identify yourself, right? Well, everybody got the right to identify themselves. And us identifying who we are and not the designated black color that you gave us. How is that wrong? We don't have to stick with something because you gave it to us. We can match up who we are with the scriptures, and how are we hurting anybody? Exactly. Still haven't explained that one. I mean, keep calling us names, that's not going to clear the air. Obviously, it's not clearing the air at all because more and more people, not only people in our community, but even people outside of our community, are now taking a close look at what we're saying. And that's what's scaring you. That's what's scaring you. That's really it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to show you this clip and I'll be right back.
These days will bring that fire out. They screaming peace when there ain't no peace. Israel prophesying in the streets. Look at me, the center of attention. Black Messiah coming with a vengeance. Coming with a vengeance. Black Messiah coming with a vengeance. They screaming peace, it ain't no peace. We prophesying in the streets. We're seeking peace in the streets of Babylon. Brandishing Glock 40, tucking heat like a carry on. Sinning against the fathers, got us sleeping, I never know. Christ the King revealed this aerial phenomenon. Kicking against the bricks, lose your soul when that fire comes. We purify better than gold, got my Bible on. And that's all that I know. Where Babylon goes far, watch it blow. Hey, switching it up, the nation's gonna drink it. I'm talking the cup, don't care what you thinking. Believe in the gospel, the God is thinking. The fires of heaven gon' gather for dinner. The ear of the flesh, the wicked, the sinner. Your mama, your sister, your daddy, your cousin. Get they issue. If they mind, they don't repent. They screaming peace when there ain't no peace. Israel prophesying in the streets. Look at me, the center of attention. Black Messiah coming with a vengeance. Coming with a vengeance.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a real fear. There's a real fear about this awakening that not only scare people, it is really shaking the world right now. And trust me, these folks are behind the scenes trying to figure out a way to silence this entire thing. And we're in the final days. And in the final days, it said that we would wake up in our land of captivity. Nobody can stop this, but they can give their best attempt if they like. You know, it really was them and their media that got this movement as far as it has gone over these last few weeks. It was them that kept it in the media every single day. Kyrie sent out a link one time. They have been in the media with this multiple times. I know people don't like the word accountability, but they really are accountable for how this thing has exploded by just name calling and keeping it in the media every day and talking about how this must stop and this is creating a danger. I would like for you to tell us when we spoke, like I said, y'all don't even listen to us and you don't pay us any mind. You really go above and beyond. And I know that's manufactured too, to always push us in the background and not this, and just dismiss us and not listen to us. That's all manufactured because you were taught to do that. It's not a natural thing going on. It's very artificial and very unnatural. So, that being said, there's no way anything we say can impact you because you've made a concerted effort to ignore us. Not that I need your attention. I certainly don't. I don't need it for any reason. So, ladies and gentlemen, members of Israel United in Christ also protested at Barclays during the suspension. And I did a video on that, if you remember. I did a video on them outside of the Barclays Center. And at that time, Kyrie was not playing. He was not physically on the floor playing, but these men made a huge presence up there, even when they were up there in a smaller group. So, when they got all their warriors out on that street, that was mind blowing to them. Trust me, they are paying attention to our every move. Like I said, we are the most monitored and watched people on the face of the earth. That is a real tall order for a bunch of people that are a bunch of nobodies. They sure love watching us a lot, don't they? They most certainly do. So, Israel United in Christ was founded in New York and now has 71 locations in the United States with claims that Black people, and this is how they wrote it, okay? I know who we are, but this is how they wrote it. Claims that Black people and other people of color are the children of Israel, according to the ADL. And even what they put out in the media is not even correct, but I'm just saying. So the group's march appeared to have coincided with Irving's return Sunday in a game with the Memphis Grizzlies, following a brief suspension and an apology, which I don't believe he should have had to do, you know. So the viral video in Brooklyn over the weekend sparked prompt backlash on social media with, we know what to expect from you. It's always the same thing. It's always the same negative things being said. It's almost like a broken record. So this is what the American Jewish Committee said: we cannot allow this supremacist ideology to spread and gain greater acceptance, the group said in a statement. Well, you cannot allow, you cannot allow. Interesting. Now, what I want to know is, how did we hurt you? How did we hurt you? When these men went out on the street, they had no weapon. They started no riot. They didn't do anything that even resembles January 6th. They didn't go in a building and poop and pee all over the place. They didn't threaten anybody's life like they did at January 6th. 5 people were murdered. Nobody died in this protest. It was just a protest. So how were you harmed? How were you so badly harmed from a non-violent protest in New York at the Barclays Center? It was more dangerous up at the insurrection. January 6th, that was far more dangerous. But I know that was not a threat to you. That was not a threat to you. That's why. Although that was far more dangerous and violent too. This wasn't even violent. So I don't know how this was so harmful to you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what they really want is for us to sit down, shut up, and go back to a slave status. That's what they really want. And stay there, stay in that slave status. You are not Hebrews, you are black. You are black. That's what they want. And as you can see, as the days and weeks and months and years roll by, that's not happening. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was good to see the unity. And again, something they don't want to see. They don't want to see us unifying at all. They want you to stay divided and in derision and be confused and not have an identity. And everything just goes back to the level that they are comfortable with, our oppression and them at the top. That's what they're comfortable with. And they want everything to go back and remain the same. But it can never be the same, y'all. We are in the final home stretch of this captivity. And all of you different groups out here that are really Gentiles, You should have known your rise to the top was a temporary one. You were not meant to be there forever. And there's nothing written in ancient history. There is nothing written in your Torah. There's nothing written in the Bible that said you would be at the top forever and it would never change. That's not written anywhere. It's not written anywhere. If you believe in prophecy, then you should know your rise was only for a moment. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. And further proof that this was not violent, there were no arrests during this protest. There were no arrests. So they can make all the claims that this is so awful, it's so terrible, it's this, it's that. There were no arrests. There was no violence. But you're sitting there saying how terrible these people are. No arrest, no violence. Y'all remember that. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. And remember, there were arrests on January 6th, but no arrest made last Sunday at the Barclays Center. Peace, family.